Lisa from the Silver Farmhouse. I'm coming with a pre-recorded video, guys, to show you guys how you can make some really, really cute, not so expensive little tables, guys. Little tables for planters, for candles, guys. This one is my favorite right here. It's a little bit more expensive. This one will cost you about between $15 to $16 to make. This one will cost you roughly $6 to $7 to make. We are going to make the big one on this video, but I'm going to show you it's made the exact same way. But for the little guy, you can use 2 of the Dollar Tree wire baskets. 2 of the Dollar Tree wire baskets for the little guy, and you're going to need a charger plate from the Dollar Tree. This is just a charger plate from the Dollar Tree. It says charger plate right on the back. They come in numerous different colors. You're going to spray paint them anyway, so it doesn't matter what color you get or what color that you guys want to paint these. So this is the little guy. He's got the rusty barn star with the charger plate with a bunch of little rustic stars, and I grunged it up with a rusty look. And for the big one, instead of using the Dollar Tree little waste baskets or buckets, whatever they are, I went to TJ Maxx and got larger waste baskets, larger metal waste baskets. TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods all have these waste baskets. They come in white and they come in black. They are $4.99 per one waste basket, but I will tell you, Home Goods were $5.99 per waste basket. It's sister stores, but I don't know. So you can make the larger one by getting baskets, different, bigger baskets than the one from the Dollar Tree, guys. And I'm really loving the way this larger table came out. Same thing, it's a charger plate on the top that I just rusted up. We're gonna start one of these from start to finish. So this video will be a little bit lengthy, but we're gonna make the big one. So you need your 2 baskets, okay? You could spray paint them if they're white, if you want to do them whatever color, or if they're black and you choose to do them cream, it's totally up to you. One of these guys were white, but I spray painted it with a black spray paint. And then we're going to work right now so they dry a little bit while we're on this video. We're going to work with the charger plate. I already have my charger plate done, but I'm going to show you how I rusted it up, and then it will be dry so that we can put it on the top of our table. So you just need a fine grade sandpaper. 220 is what I'm using. Guys, just give your plate a good sanding with your sandpaper all over. The sides, don't do the bottom. There's no need to do the bottom. But you can do the bottom if you want, but just give it a good rough it up with your sandpaper really well, and then wipe it off with some kind of cloth. So then just wipe it off with some kind of cloth. Then you could spray paint it whatever color you want. I used heirloom white on the small one. Rust-Oleum heirloom white is what I used for the cream one. And then for the black one, I chose to use semi-gloss black by Rust-Oleum. Semi-gloss black is what we're going to use on this plate. So I already have this plate spray painted up because I wanted it to dry. I did not have to do the bottom. I ain't worried you are not going to see this sticker. The stickers are super hard to come off, but you are not going to see it because it's going to go on top of our waste basket. So I did not need to spray the bottom, but I did spray the top with the black spray paint. I let it dry, and to give it that rusty look, you are going to need to grab yourself a pair of rubber gloves and some clear finish of your choice, whatever you want to use. Polyurethane works. It takes a little longer to dry. Shellac works. Just a clear matte finish will work. Whatever kind of finish, like a clear coat that you want to put on yours. We're going to use this. I have Matte Finish by Krylon. Matte Finish by Krylon is what I'm using. But guys, this also worked. I used the Krylon polyurethane, but it takes a little bit longer to dry. I felt the polyurethane did. So what you're going to do is you're going to need some cinnamon. Dollar Tree, guys, sells cinnamon. Just the regular cinnamon that you guys use to cook with, bake with. But the Dollar Tree does have a big jar for $1. So give your plate a good coating of your sealer, whatever kind of sealer you want to use, totally up to you. Then give your plate a good sprinkle of cinnamon. It's a little windy out here today, a little windy out here, so we're gonna go with what we got going on. So a good coating of cinnamon on your plate, and then what I like to do, guys, is just rub it around a little bit with my hand. Ooh, it's windy. Maybe I should use the polyurethane because this is drying very quickly on me. This is drying very quickly, so I think we might have to work in sections. So I'm just gonna work in sections, spraying because it's drying because of the wind. I'm gonna sprinkle my cinnamon while it's wet. While your sealer is wet, sprinkle your cinnamon, rub it in. I'm just gonna go down and keep going because it's drying super, super fast on me because it's hot and windy here today. So I'm just gonna rub it in as it's still wet. And yes, you make a huge mess with this. Huge mess, huge mess. Just so you guys know, you will make a big mess. Big mess. Okay, so I rubbed it on. Now I'm gonna go around the side. But what I'm gonna do is just bang my loose cinnamon off. So I just banged my loose cinnamon off because I need my little work area here. And then I'm gonna go over it with another coat of my clear finish. A good coat I'm putting on because the cinnamon's gonna soak it right up. So just give it a good spray with your finish. And then you're gonna let this dry. So do you see when it dries, you're gonna see more of the rusty look. But do you see, and this will hold your cinnamon from coming off of your plate. So we're gonna put this to the side to dry, which is gonna dry fairly quickly. Now, if you want the barn stars that I have on the front, here's the barn star that I have on the front of this one. If you wanna make a barn star, we've made paper barn stars here. Guys, I'm gonna show you how you can make it out of a piece of cookie sheet. So this is cookie sheet from the Dollar Tree, just the plain cookie sheets. And I traced a star. I had a star and I traced one. Now I'm gonna have this pattern on my blog for you guys to print out if you wanna print it out and use it. But this is the size star that I'm using. It's on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. You trace this pattern or a star that you have, whatever size you wanna use, onto your cookie sheet, and then you cut your star out. So then you just cut your little star out of here. Then what you need is you need a ruler, and you need something to kind of score your star. And where I'm going is from point of the star down to the center bottom of the other two pieces. So you want to line up your ruler. I'm using a pencil, and I'm just going down and scoring from the point of the star down to the center. Now you're going to want to do this for every point. So for the next point, I'm going to go from the point down to the center. Do it for every point on your star. So I'm going to go from this point down to the center. I'm going to flip my star. I'm going to go from this point, that's cinnamon, woofa, going down to the center. And I'm going to do it again from the point down to the center, and one more time because this is the last point that we have on our star. And you'll see I have my score marks. You see my score marks? And then I'm putting on a pair of gloves to do this because aluminum is very sharp on the edges. Once you cut it, you should cut your aluminum with gloves on also. I'm just putting a pair of gloves on that have rubber on the bottom of them. And then what you're going to start to do is on your score lines, you're going to start to fold. You're going to fold. It's a little hard with gloves on, but I'm going to do it with gloves on. You just start to fold on your score line. And you're going to do that for every single line, but go with your tall points first. So I'm working my tall points first. Then you're going to work the inside lines here. So I'm just working my tall points. I'm going over. I'm unbending them a little bit as I go. I'm going to do every single line on these, and then just unbend. And I'm going to do another one. You don't have to fold them totally. Do you see? I'm not folding it totally. I'm just kind of folding it to give it that crease. You don't have to fold them directly in half so that both sides meet each other. I'm just doing it a little bit. And only go to the center. Don't go all the way across. Just go to the center. And then on your inside lines, if you just give a slight push, they bend right in. So do you see it bent right in? And this is how we are forming our barn star. So you just give a slight little push on them and they bend right in. Bending it in, just a little push. It's easier without gloves, but I am so afraid of cookie sheets, guys, that I'm wearing gloves. I'm a sissy, I'm wearing gloves. Okay, this one, I have to push it with my pencil. There we go. I had to push the line in with my pencil, and then just bend it, and then pull your points out because they may get bent in. It's just a tin cookie sheet. And voila, you have your barn star. Look, you have your barn star created. You have your barn star created. So then you could spray paint this whatever color you would like to spray paint it. I'm going to do this one black. I'm going to give it a coat of black. And we're going to put this to the side, and I'm going to let this dry while we put our table together. So I'm putting this to the side, and I'm going to let that dry, and let's hope it don't blow away. Let's hope it doesn't blow away, guys. Okay, so now for the table. Like I said, paint them whatever color you want. I am putting them top to top. So I'm laying them top to top. Then you're gonna need little zip ties of your choice. Whatever kind of little zip ties you want. Go in the bottom garbage can, right at the top, and then come out the top part of the netting on the garbage can. I'm gonna do it on this side, and I will show you. And you're going to have to maneuver them in by lifting the top of the garbage can, not on the Dollar Tree ones, but on these ones from Home Goods or TJ Maxx or Marshall's. You will have to flip the can up. So when you get your zip tie through, just zip it a little bit. So here's what I did. Just zip it a little bit, because you're gonna need to be able to maneuver this garbage can to get your other ones through. And then we'll go through and we'll tighten them all. So now I'm gonna do another one over here. I'm probably only gonna do 3 or 4. You don't need more than that. 3 or 4 zip ties will be enough, because you're going to put jute around it. And by putting the jute around it, it's gonna make it even more secure. So 3 or 4 zip ties is about all you're gonna need. And I'm trying to see if I could go in right above where the other one is. So that's why I just lined this up to kind of get an eyeball where I need to put this through. And you're just gonna, this is the part that takes the longest, is maneuvering these little zip ties through your containers. So there's 2, and I'm probably just gonna do one more. Because like I said, the jute, we're gonna glue jute on, and that's gonna hold it into place once we glue the jute on. And we're gonna glue jute too, not too much, but we're gonna go and glue jute together. Start to finish is what I'm doing with this guy. And of course I got my zip tie backwards. Once you have all your zip ties on, then you can go around and start to tighten them. You can go around and start tightening them once you have all 3 of yours on. The Dollar Tree basket, you will not have to really do this because the holes are bigger. The holes are bigger on the Dollar Tree one. So it's easier to get the zip tie through these, where these are tiny little netting holes. So it's a little tougher to get these through. And then just pull your zip ties tight. And then cut off your zip tie tails. And then cut off your tails on all your zip ties, and voila, we have our table formed. Now, I am going to tell you, we are going to give this a rustic look now. I'm going to show you how I gave it a rustic look onto my table. Let me move my stuff out of the way. So on my table, what I did is, you're going to need another pair of rubber gloves. Unless you want to do all these steps at once, you can, but I wanted to let these dry so we can get them on there. I think I'm going to use the polyurethane this time, because the other one was drying a little too fast for me. A little too fast for me to get my cinnamon on, because it's hot. It's almost 90 here, and the wind is blowing. So on the ends, if you're using a garbage can that has the ends on it, you can add a coat of your sealer and then sprinkle some cinnamon on, and guys, rub it on with your hands. And go around. You're going to do the entire can. I'm even going to do the netting. I'm sprinkling the cinnamon on the netting, and I'm going to pat it on with my hands. I'm just going to keep going, and then I will seal the whole thing with my sealer. I will seal the whole thing. So we're going to do the garbage can real quick. Don't be afraid of the cinnamon. It sticks. Just pat it on and keep going. The polyurethane takes a little bit longer to dry, which is helping me out here. My other matte sealer was a quicker drier one, so I needed to use something that stayed a little bit more wet today, apparently. And I'm just going to keep going right around my can. If you do it indoors, like in a garage or something, you're going to want to definitely do this, not in your house. Not in your house. Okay. Okay, so this side is done. Now we're gonna go to the other side, and then I will spray the whole thing with the sealer. So I'm just gonna spray this side now. Sprinkle my cinnamon. You could reuse your cinnamon. You could sweep it off your cardboard and reuse it. So don't get nervous that I'm wasting all this cinnamon, because I'm really not. I will sweep it off my cardboard and just put it back in my container. Oh no, we're running out of cinnamon. We need more cinnamon. I bring out, this was only a half jar. You might use about a jar, but you'll sweep up most of it and put it back in. But I did bring out another jar because that one was only a half jar. So then I'm just gonna pat it on there with my hands. I'm gonna keep going around. Just keep adding your cinnamon and patting away. I think I just got a little bit left to do here. And then we'll give it a good coat with the sealer. And that will keep your cinnamon onto your container. So now I'm just gonna give this whole container a coating with my polyurethane. That's not polyurethane, Lisa. That's matte finish. I could have used the matte on here because it's drying quickly. I'm just gonna give the whole thing a coat. Just go and give it a good coat. And once it's dry, which mine's drying very quickly, if you feel like you can't see the rust color and you want more, just add another layer. Add another layer of cinnamon and your sealer. If you're feeling that you can't see the rust, but usually when it's fully dry, you will see the rust. So just go around and spray it all up good. Sorry, they're working on a house over here. They're building a house next to me. And that's what you're hearing, and the lady across the street is building a pool. So, okay, so voila, it is all sealed up with a honking mess underneath me here. But it is all sealed up, and it will have that rusty look. Do you see it? You can kind of see the rust, guys. Even on the camera, you can kind of see that it's rusty looking. And I am absolutely in love with how this is gonna turn out. So now, let me just clean up for 1 second so that we can work on building our table. We are gonna work on building the table now. And the cinnamon will not come off once this is dry, guys. You may have a few flakes here and there of something that you missed, but it's not going to come off, because believe me, when I was done, I bring these in my house, I put them on my kitchen counter, and I worked on the jute, and I can tell you I hardly had any cinnamon on my kitchen counter when I was done working the jute on them. So the sealer does hold, excuse me, uh-oh, we're flipping this around. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. We're back. We're back. We're cleaned up and we're back. Okay, we were giving you guys a flip. So now what you're going to just want to do is you're going to want to start your jute. Start your jute first. I'm going to start my jute and let my top table dry a little bit more. I am using thick jute cord. Just thick jute cord that you can get at Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I don't know if Walmart still sells them or not, guys. I'm unsure about that. But I know Hobby Lobby does. You can order it off Amazon. It's probably 11 millimeter or 12 millimeter jute cord is what I'm using right now. And I'm just going to start in the center on one of my top bars, because you see we have two top bars. There's one, there's two. I'm going to start on one and I'm going to go up. Then I'm going to start on the bottom and I'm going to go down. And I'm going to do 4 rows total. 4 rows total is what I'm going to work with. So I'm just going to add some hot glue, and I'll hold it up and show you. And I'm going to attach my jute to the first bar. And we're going to go right around, and I'm going to keep adding hot jute, oh boy. I'm going to keep adding hot glue and attaching my jute around. Just wanted to catch for a minute. I'm going to put it on low temp because it'll dry quicker than waiting here and holding it. If you use low temp, your jute will dry quicker, your glue. So do you see I started with the first bar. Now we're just going to keep adding glue and jute and wrapping. Now if you guys want to get really creative, you can always put something on the inside. You can't put lights on the inside because how are you going to change the batteries? But if you wanted to put, I don't know, Spanish moss in there or something fun, I'm thinking what else you would be able to put in there, but you can always decorate the inside too. It's just got to be something that you don't have to change, because if you have to change it, you're gonna have to take your whole table apart. And I'm sure you guys can find these waste baskets other places besides just Home Goods, Marshalls, and TJ Maxx. I'm sure if you look around when you're out shopping, out and about, just look around and see if you could find a larger waste basket, because I'm liking the large table. I personally like the large table. When you get to your second row, you are going to want to add your hot glue kind of onto your jute. So you're going to kind of want to add it right onto your jute strand, and then just wrap your jute strand around. I'm going to do 4 rows total on the top and 4 rows total on the bottom. And like I said, it doesn't take that long, but I want to do this start to finish because I didn't want to have like 3 of these tables floating around. And it's too hard to do them as a giveaway because they're too big. They're too big, so we're just going to do this start to finish. So just bear with me. I'm just going to chit-chat away here and talk to you guys. But if there was a way to access, you know, if you wanted to put lights in it, say fairy lights in it, and light it up, guys, leave the battery pack. I'm just thinking about this. Leave the battery pack on the outside. Why didn't I think of that? You could put the fairy lights on the inside and then leave your battery pack hang out on the outside so you can change the batteries. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Oh, that would be a really good idea, to leave your battery pack on the outside, and then you can access and change your batteries. We're going to do 1 more row, and then we're going to go to the bottom. Just keep adding glue as you're winding. And this is why I said there was no need for more than 3 zip ties, because your jute's going to help hold this table together, and they're a little hard to maneuver. So yes, I'm going quickly. You don't have to go this quickly, but I'm just trying to make this short and sweet and not a super long video. Okay, so I'm at the end where I started. There was 4 rows. I'm going to snip it off, and I will let you guys know these Fiskars thick orange handle scissors cut thick jute wonderful. Glue your end down, and we have our first 4 rows done. Now we're going to start right here, and we're going to go to the bottom, but I'm going to flip it over to do it because it's a lot easier than trying to glue from the underneath. So I'm just going to add hot glue where I ended or started my rope, and then I'm going to add my new jute right on to where your other one starts. So you're just going to add your jute right next to the other one, and then just keep going around with your glue and gluing your jute on. Keep going around and gluing it on. And this, I mean, you don't have to use this thick jute. If you only have thin jute, you're going to be putting a lot more strands on than if you used the thick jute. I just always have thick jute. I used to get it at Walmart, but I don't think they sell it anymore. So you could try Amazon though. I'm sure Amazon has thick jute. Just keep adding your glue and going around. I'm just trying to make sure that my jute are somewhat snug together and that I don't have gaping holes in between your jute. Kind of make sure you're snugging them a little bit together. And where we connected all the jute pieces, don't get nervous, because that's where our barn star is going, and you're going to hide all that. You're going to hide all of that with your barn star, which we have right here drying. Just keep going. You could, guys, you don't even have to make these farmhouse. You wanted to put seashells on them or something, you could add seashells on them, a starfish, whatever you want to put on the front of them, and make them like the nautical. You can make a nautical looking. If you're into the beach theme, you can make them beach theme looking. It doesn't have to be just farmhouse. I was thinking if you added seashells on this cream guy I have right here, it would be really cute as a beach theme. 1, 2, 3. We're on 3. We got to do 1 more full row. But you can make them beach theme too. I think they'd be really cute beach theme. And I'm probably going to put some candles, battery operated candles, on the top of mine. as kind of like a little candle holder. But you can put whatever you want. You can put plants on them. You can use them as an end table. They'd be really cute on as an end table too. The taller ones would be. The shorter ones are a little too short, I think. But the taller ones would be really cute for an end table. And thick jute, I don't think Hobby Lobby does the half off of the jute. I'm not sure if they do, but this was $17.99 for the full bolt of jute. You are not going to use the full bolt of jute. I may use a little less than half of this bolt of jute, just so you guys know how much I'm using. Using probably a little less than half. Not much less than half, but a little less than half of this full container of jute. Where is my start? Okay, my start's over there. We are just about done wrapping our jute. Next, we're going to put on our top piece for our table. For our tabletop, I'm going to cut my jute here. So I have eight rows total. I did 4 the top way and 4 the bottom way. And you're going to ask me why I split it and just didn't keep going down, because I felt it was easier to start at the bar and work up, and then start at the bar and work down. So do you see what we have? This star is going to cover this, so don't worry what that looks like. And for the top of your table, here's our plate that we have. Guys, see it dried? Look, see how rusty it looks when it's dry? And the cinnamon doesn't really come off. If you feel you're getting a lot off, add another coat of polyurethane or clear or whatever you used. For the top of the table, clear grip glue. Clear grip, Gorilla Clear Grip glue. I am gonna add a bead right to the outside, about a ½ inch, quarter inch from the outside. I'm going to add a bead of glue of clear grip. And I know it's not only you guys, this glue is hard to get out of the container. I've busted so many of these. I'm going around twice. I just felt the clear grip is going to give it a little bit of a stronger hold once it's dry. Clear grip glue will take 24 hours to dry. But to work quicker, we are going to add some hot glue right on top of the clear grip glue. So we're going to add a little bit of hot glue right around inside the clear grip glue here. I am going to add my hot glue. And then take your tabletop and center it onto your table. Center it onto your table as best as you can here. And voila, it'll hold now that you can move it around and do what you want with it. But once the clear grip glue dries, it will have a stronger hold on it. For the barn star, you could either leave it black or you could rust it up a little. I'm gonna rust mine up a little bit because it dries very quickly here. So we're gonna give it a quick little coating of cinnamon and polyurethane. We're gonna give it a quick little coating. Let me grab a glove. I think I have one glove here. I do. I have one glove. So we're gonna give it a quick little spray and a quick little sprinkle of cinnamon. So I'm gonna use my polyurethane because it seems to not dry as quickly out here today. I'm gonna give it a quick little spray, same way we rusted up the table, and then, oh goodness, a quick little coating of cinnamon on it. I know I'm not doing it in the camera, I'm doing it over where my cinnamon holder is. Quick little coating of cinnamon. I'm gonna rub the cinnamon on with my hands. Oops, dropped my star. I'm gonna give it a little rub with my hands. Shake off the excess cinnamon, then I'm gonna give it a little spray with my polyurethane and coat it up. We're gonna let that dry for a second. While that is drying, you can, if you want to. I love these little rusty barn stars that I get off Amazon. They're 2-inch rusty barn stars. They have a tiny little hole in them, but that does not bother me. You get 100 for, I believe, $14.99, guys. And what's great about them is you can bend them. They are bendable because they are thin, but they are true rust. It's a true rusty star. You can glue them, like I did, around your plate and make cute little barn stars around your plate. Just give them, these ones I like because they bend. How many did I bring out with me? Let's see. I'll have to spread them out a little bit because that's all I bring out with me. And you can glue them right around the edge of your plate. I'm just adding hot glue to the back and I'm just going to place them right onto my plate. I'm gonna bend the star prongs down a little bit. And I'm just gonna, a dab of hot glue, glue them right onto your plate. And I spaced them out first before I glued them down so that I knew where I wanted them. And then we're just gonna glue them right on. Really cute, really cute, really cute. I don't know, I like the Barnstar look. I like the Barnstar look, but you don't have to put these on. Like I said, if you're doing, guys, if you're doing a beach theme, glue some seashells around the side. Glue some seashells, they would be cute too. Little seashells around the side. And then you're gonna take your Barnstar and you're gonna glue your Barnstar on, and voila, guys, your table is finished. Your table is finished. I got glue strings everywhere. I know, I'm trying to pick them off. So now I'm just gonna glue my Barnstar right onto the front where all my jute is connected. Where all my jute's connected. I'm looking to see. It'll probably rust up a little bit more once it's dry. It's not too rusty. It might need more cinnamon. I may need to have to put some more cinnamon on that. We'll see. But this one is still wet because I used the polyurethane and it's taking a little longer to dry than the matte finish. But I'm just gonna add some hot glue to the two inside flaps right here. I'm gonna add some hot glue here and hot glue here, and then I'm just gonna glue it right onto my jute. I'm gonna add some hot glue there, and then I'm just gonna center it and glue it right onto my jute. I'm gonna hold it there for a minute. It is hot. It is hot, and then I'll turn it around and I'll show you the finished, whoops, I just moved it. The finished product. This is still a little wet too. I'm taking the paint off a little bit with my fingers, but okay. The more primitive it looks, the better. The more primitive it looks, the better. Glue strings just wipe right off of your, don't worry about your glue strings. They wipe right off of your baskets. Let's hope that's dry enough. Guys, will you look? We created another table. So now I have two. I have two. So guys, amazing farmhouse tables, but you can also change them into any kind of table you want. You could do beach theme, you could do farmhouse, you could do whatever your decor is, but you can make some really, really cute tables by using a couple simple items. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you know anybody who would like to make one of these, feel free to spread the love of the Silver Farmhouse. Thanks for watching, guys.